Hey, what's going on? This is Hal Cooper, and this is my submission for Stranger Things Story District. All right, back when I was 22, life was so confusing. I didn't know who I wanted to be, what I wanted to do, or where I wanted to go. I was completely up in the air with everything. I hate to age myself, but this is also the time the Netflix hit came out. This is also the time Instagram had updated their software, and we could also post videos in addition to pictures. I was excited because now I seen what all the cool kids were doing, which was selling flat tummy tea or scamming. I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I just know I worked out, so the tea part kind of like resonated with me. A lot of my friends are going down to Atlanta before they made that jump to doing porn, and I was thinking to myself, I could just get down there for a little bit, make some money, get popping, and then go back to Charlotte or New York. However, when I got down to Atlanta, though it was fun and I loved my time there, it was not a real place. Like, picture Mario Kart with jewelry. I was having a ball. I didn't have any consideration for anything. I was just enjoying everything. I was always drinking and I felt cool. Like, I dressed cool, I worked out, all my friends were cool. And one thing led to another. I started selling a little drugs, but not the hard stuff because that clientele was kind of sketchy. It was just mostly weed or like weed. And when I got down there and it started happening, I remember thinking to myself, my granddad would be so disappointed in me. And he had just recently passed away. So it was a lot on my mind I was dealing with. However, I was getting closer and closer to like whatever type of validation I felt like I needed. And in that moment, I told myself I was gonna go back home. I was like, I have to go back home to Charlotte. I gotta get myself together. I made a lot of money, but I was thinking to myself, I gotta get out. So I jumped in my little car and I went back to Charlotte, packed up. But it had been 4th of July weekend. So I decided to one last Atlanta hurrah, then go back to Charlotte. As I'm leaving, I get pulled over by the cops. And I remember thinking to myself, like, what the hell? Now, I lived in New York for a while before I came back to Charlotte, and then I was always in Atlanta. I never really drove my car, so I didn't really care to get everything updated. I had tickets. I just thought they would just give me another ticket and say go home. However, when the cop pulled me over, he was like, get in the back. And I was like, wait, what? I was panicking. This is also around the time we started realizing everything that came with the cops and social media. And I was nervous. I was thinking to myself, this is in the middle of Hart County, Georgia. No one knows I'm here. I'm getting hauled off into the middle of bumblefuck nowhere. The roads were dirt and the guy was like, boy, you going in? And I said, okay. So I jumped on Instagram Live with the new feature because we just finally started going live. I said, hey, y'all hold me down if you don't hear from me. And I'm on the Android, so it's like hella pixely. Like, everyone's like, I'm trying to make out the shapes. And it was just super scary. I get there, I'd never been in jail, never had a record. So they booked me. Um, Luckily for me, this is horrible. I had sold everything, so I didn't have anything on me. I just had a expired suspended license, SR22, damn. And they was just like, oh, you're gonna be here all weekend because it is 4th of July. So I spent my 4th of July weekend at 22 in jail. I get in there and I had never been in jail. And once the door is shut, I realized I'm really in jail and I'm kind of crying. And so they put me in the pink room. It was an all pink room. And around that time, I just kept hearing my granddad's voice, and my granddad was like, just don't be gay. So I got out of the jail cell and I started doing some push-ups and shit. And I shadow boxing. And this guy's like, what's your zodiac sign? I said, why does that matter here? I instantly got upset because I feel like whenever people bring up zodiac signs, they normally do horrible things and take zero accountability. We're already in jail, so I was already nervous where this would go. There's more to this story, but that's gonna wrap it right now. I could flesh it out, but I have other ideas and suggestions. If you want me to fix it, Amy, let me know. Boom.